Hello, my name is Alexandra Semi, and welcome to Buckingham News, live at 5. Last weekend saw Buckingham's second annual food fair. From baked goods to beer, residents were able to taste and buy the best in fair trade produce. The idea of fair trade represents a win-win situation for consumers, local farmers, and producers in developing countries. With the fine selection of wines, charcuterie, pickles, and breads on offer, our news teams were fighting each other to get this assignment. Leandra Behrens has the story.
Since 2007, Buckingham has been a fair trade town, which means local businesses sell products that don't compromise fair terms of trade. This weekend, Buckingham is honoring that commitment by holding its second annual food fair. In addition to the 10 exhibitors taking part, the kids can come meet the Mix 96 monster and street stars. As for me, I opt to find the sweetest treat in Buckingham. Mayor Ruth Newell opened the food fair to an enthusiastic crowd.
I'd like to welcome all the exhibitors and thank you for spreading the word.
So last year the first food fair was a great success. How did the concept of it come about?
Originally it was Robin Stutchbury, who's our town councillor that runs Town Centre and Events Committee. So he thought it would be really good to have an event in Buckingham that publicised local food and drink.
So why is it important for Buckingham to be a fair trade town?
It's just really important that fair trade products are available because they pay people a fair wage and help them to run businesses in a fair way.
Fair trade guarantees fair prices and decent working hours for farmers and workers in third world countries. It prohibits child labour and provides an additional premium paid to producer organisations to enable training, school building, sanitation and healthcare programmes. To support producers in developing countries, just look for the registered fair trade mark on goods.
It's just good to try and do the best for everybody. So you don't want, we don't want to all be buying food that's come from long distances, etc. We try and buy all our ingredients as local as possible.
I try and use the finest ingredients that I possibly can. My chocolates are all made with Swiss chocolate, and it's all baked to order, basically.
After trying every treat this market has to offer, I have to say the cupcakes are the sweetest treat yet. This is Leandra Behrens, Buckingham News.
Most of us are glumly resigned to the inevitability of aging, graying hair, conspicuous ever-increasing wrinkles, and the dreaded middle-age spread. But not prominent scientist Dr. Aubrey de Grey. He's on the hunt for the elixir of life and believes it could well be discovered in our lifetime. Here's Yumna Najdi with the story.
It may sound like something from a science fiction movie, but Aubrey de Grey's cutting-edge ideas about age reversal are gaining momentum. Dr. de Grey is leading the research as part of SENS, Strategies for Engineered Negligible Senescence Research Foundation, and has written several books on the subject. He believes that the answer to aging could be found within the next 30 years, enabling some people to live to be over 1,000 years of age.
But, of course, we've been able to do something about that. It took a while for people to figure out that hygiene was quite a good thing. But once they did, and once they backed that up with the development of various medicines, such as antibiotics and vaccines and so on, and also, of course, low-tech technology like mosquito nets, which stop the transmission of certain diseases, then progress was great.
Why is it that people romanticize aging, and what is your main opposition?
Until the past decade or so, it has simply not been reasonable to suppose that we would really be able to bring aging under medical control anytime soon. And therefore, the conclusion is that there's this ghastly thing that's going to happen to you sometime in the relatively distant future, and there's nothing you can do about it.
If people do live to be 1,000 years old, what will future societies look like?
Because the fact is, we're talking about the distant future, and lots of other things are also going to be different.
If Dr. Aubrey is correct, then it would seem that science fiction could very soon become reality. This is Yumna Najdi, Buckingham News.
Here I go again. Is this love? Crying in the rain? They're not the chapter headings in the typical love life of a Buckingham student. Any keen meddler will tell you they're song titles from the immortal band Whitesnake. Bernie Marsden, the band's guitarist, is a Buckingham boy whose influence on the musical life of the town is immeasurable. Meg Pettit rocked out with the man himself.
Bernie Marsden is a world-renowned rock and blues guitarist and has enjoyed a varied career in the music industry. He began recording with UFO, but is probably most famous for being a founding member of Whitesnake, co-writing the most successful worldwide hits. I met with Mr. Marsden in the University of Buckingham's music room to discuss his life in music, playing a Shakespearean minstrel on stage and owning one of the best and most famous Gibson Les Paul guitars ever made. We also had a chat about the Beatles. He is justifiably referred to as an unsung legend of British rock guitar. You've been inseparable from your 1959 Les Paul. Do you ever wonder, what if I hadn't acquired the beast?
No, I've never thought about that. I guess I'd have got by. I always wanted a Les Paul, and it's almost, I was kind of stalked with it as well. The guy who I bought it from, is it serendipity? I was kind of meant to have it, really, you know, because he wanted more money than I could dream of, you know, and it was ridiculously cheap. I don't know, things that go slightly, I mean, the Wings thing, I suppose, the McCartney thing, that would have been a whole career shift, wouldn't it? But I think things are meant to happen. You can't really, you know, I mean, that river keeps rolling out there, doesn't it? It ain't going to go the other way, is it?
To view the interview in its entirety, click on the link in the description. This is Meg Petter of Buckingham News.
In other news, Stagecoach is considering moving the X5 bus stop from Buckingham Town Centre back to Tesco on London Road to accommodate new and more accessible buses. Residents are advised to attend a meeting of the Aylesbury Vale Transport User Group, which will be held at 10 a.m. on the 4th of March at the Buckingham Community Centre. The law school students held a debate this week to discuss whether the UK should have a written constitution or not. James Dart argued that we know what our rights are and don't need a document to tell us. He won the debate with a vote of 10-7, suggesting that the UK should, in fact, have a written constitution. 3 distraction thefts have happened in shop and garden centre parks in Aylesbury and Wendover. The victims unload their shopping in their cars and put their handbags on a seat. When someone asks them for directions, an accomplice steals items from their cars, such as their bank cards or purses. Last month, 63 crimes occurred within a 1-mile radius of the University of Buckingham, 11 of which happened at or near the supermarket. The ukulele has experienced a dramatic rise in popularity over recent years, and the trend doesn't seem to be slowing down. Formerly in the shadow of its big brother, the acoustic guitar, the ukulele now enjoys a reputation as a social instrument that brings people together. Its light, plucky sound and endearingly small size is not typically associated with the traditional ale and unassuming atmosphere of the British pub. So when a local music teacher combined the two, Chindalai Ponsavath gave playing the charming little instrument a go.
Sue Snell is a musician and author of Uke and Sing. She organizes ukulele workshops all around the country, though since last September has held sessions here in Buckingham. The Wopac Pub hosts her monthly events. The group meets every third Thursday in the practice room to learn new tricks and tunes, and everyone can participate for a £4 fee. You can bring your own, borrow or buy a ukulele there. How long have you taught the ukulele in particular?
I've been teaching the ukulele for about 8 years. I first got involved with it when I was working in a special school in Milton Keynes. One of the teachers presented me with 10 ukuleles and asked if I'd teach the children, and to be honest, I hadn't a clue where to start.
How would you explain the instrument's huge rise in popularity over the last few years?
I often come across adults who have had the experience at school of being told they're not very good at music and they can't sing and they're tone deaf. And actually, that's just not true. And I think the ukulele is a very easy and accessible instrument for you to come to later in life. It's very sociable as well. It's not the kind of instrument you want to sit and play at home on your own. It's affordable, it's fun, it's something that everybody can do.
What made you choose Buckingham as a location for your workshops?
I have a group which meets regularly in Stony Stratford of adults, and we started in exactly the same way. I ran a workshop, just a one-off experience, try the ukulele. That group's now been playing together for 3 years and it's really successful. We have a lovely group of people who love meeting once a month, and I just felt there was a gap in the market in Buckingham, and it was a really nice thing to be able to do.
If you would like to strum up some new chords, please drop by their meetings every third Thursday at 7 p.m. in the Woolpack Pub. This is Shinalai Ponzavat reporting for Buckingham News.
And now, over to sports with Liv.
Thanks, Alexandra. It is safe to say the weather has not been too kind to the football fixtures list so far this year. The University of Buckingham's football team is yet to play a competitive match due to bad conditions. Did they have any luck this week? Kevin Malindwa travelled with the team to Gorcourt playing fields.
Despite the bad weather and cancellation of most of this year's football matches, the morale within the University of Buckingham's football team remained strong. The team were being put through their paces in practice and looked ready for their next match against Charlton District. Unfortunately, the match was cancelled due to the waterlogged pitch. To substitute their game, the football team took part in a casual training session so that the day was not wasted. The side took part in a 7-a-side game where they worked on footwork, positioning and communication skills. Although the game had been called off, the players' approach to the training sessions was professional. The football team are not alien to poor conditions, as many games were called off at this time last year, with the university playing on a pitch prone to flooding. Football manager Stefan Regulus explained the situation regarding the cancellation.
The university had a game scheduled this weekend, last weekend, against Sherrington. It was a cup match. It was unlucky that we weren't able to play because of the state of the field at Gorcourt. The field had small puddles everywhere, and that meant that it was unsafe for both teams to play. It could have been a broken leg either way. We do have a match this weekend against Charlton District at Gorcourt at home. We would encourage everybody who would like to come and watch some football, get involved in the university scheme, to come and watch us and support their team.
Let's hope the weather holds off for the University of Buckingham's next match this week against Charlton District. Kevin Molindwa, Buckingham News.
With the sports programme at the university improving term by term, students here have the chance to take part in a wide variety of sporting activities. Although there are more popular sports, there are clubs that give you the chance to take part in something completely new and different. Fencing is a prime example of this. Johnny Lee has the report.
When you think of a university sport, you could usually think of a sport such as football or tennis, but why are students heading to the fitness studio on a Monday night?
The University of Buckingham Fencing Club caters for all students, whether they are a beginner to the sport or experienced. On a Monday night, students have the opportunity to learn about a sport that isn't as popular as others, but equally fun. After a warm-up, students jump straight into the action as they work on their technique. Fencing coach Baudip Sahota is eager to get more students involved.
We've been coaching here at Buckingham University now for the second semester. We started last year in 2013 in October. We ran a 6-week course then, and then we had a little break. And this year, obviously, the students wanted to come back and do some more. So we started another course this year. This is now the 3rd week, and we've got another 3 weeks to go after this. What we're hoping to do is that that Buckingham University students will form their own fencing club, and then what will that happen is that we will come here every week on maybe a Monday night or a Friday night or any night that's possible.
If you're interested in taking part, contact the Sport Office for more information. This is Johnny Lee, Buckingham News.
And now, back to the studio.
The 27th of February is National Chili Day. To celebrate this alongside Fair Trade Fortnight, the news team used fair trade ingredients when cooking a classic and delicious chili con carne. Holly Knowles demonstrates how.
This chili dish is simple to make and good for when you have friends over. This recipe makes 4 to 6 portions, depending on how hungry your guests are. Alternatively, it can be frozen. Into a large saucepan, I have softened a medium diced onion, a minced clove of garlic and a diced red bell pepper in a tablespoon of oil. This has been softening for about 10 minutes. I am now going to add 1 teaspoon of dried chili flakes, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, 2 cardamom pods, and mix in 150 grams of lentils. It may seem like there are too many unnecessary spices, but at the end it makes a delicious flavour. I am now going to stir in 400 grams canned of chopped tomatoes, 370 millilitres of water, and 400 grams canned of red kidney beans. Add to this 2 tablespoons of tomato ketchup, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, and half a tablespoon of cocoa.
Bring this to the boil and let it simmer, covered for about 45 minutes.
Keep an eye on the mix and stir every so often so that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. This can be served on top of rice or in a wrap with natural yogurt. We hope you enjoy making this delicious chili. Holly Knowles, Buckingham News.
Thank you for watching Buckingham News. Have a great weekend.